The wolf's perspective. I did not mean to blow your house down. I was just sick and needed sugar for my granny, and I accidentally blew your house down. But I am super, super, duper, duper sorry I ate your brothers. I was just hungry. Please forgive me.
In my opinion, grandmother needs watermelon, hot tea, and a pillow because she is sick. In my opinion, Little Red Riding Hood is going to bring a watermelon in my basket to grandmother's house. The reason grandmother needs watermelon because it got water in it, and water is healthy for grandmother. In my opinion, grandmother needs some hot tea. The reason that grandmother needs hot tea because she is sick, also so she can stay warm. In my opinion, grandma needs a pillow. For example, a pillow is soft and fluffy for her head. I am thankful for helping grandmother out, and do you agree she needs pillow, hot tea, and a watermelon?
Have you ever been to Kerr Beach in North Carolina? Some people haven't very much so enjoyed it. Others have and believe that they should never come back. My opinion is it's amazing and everyone should go there. First of all, at Kerr Beach, the water is great. For instance, it's a good place to swim and do water sports such as snorkeling, jet skiing, and even more. Another example is the water is great when a wave comes and you're on the shore. It moves your feet backwards. It does not even hurt. It feels like you're surfing on the sand. Another reason Kerr Beach is the best place to go on vacation is there's a lot of things to do in the sand. A few reasons are you can build a sandcastle or bury someone in the sand. Another example is you can find seashells almost everywhere. In fact, you can find seashells on the shore, under the pier, and up by the entrances. Kerr Beach is an amazing place to play at. Finally, the last reason Kerr Beach is the best place to go on vacation is the pier is outstanding. For example, the pier is a great place to take pictures. At night, there are some of the most beautiful sunsets. Also, in the day, fishing on the pier is a good activity to do. You can catch fish in all different sizes. The pier at Kerr Beach is a good place to visit. All in all, you can see that Kerr Beach is the best place to go on vacation. The sand is great, the water is amazing, and the pier is outstanding. Would you like to go to Kerr Beach?
Have you ever been wanting to go someplace fun and exciting? If you have, then Nigeria is the place to go. Some do not know about it, others do and love it. I believe that Nigeria is a fun as well as an exciting place to be. There are great and wonderful kinds of food. There are spicy and non-spicy kinds of food. Food like pepper soup and coconut rice. There are some kinds of food like gari and soup that you can use your hand to eat. However, you do not have to. Did you know that they call fried plantain dodo? There are many visiting areas. Nigeria has lots of restaurants and parks. For example, you can go to Zuma Rock, Jabi Lake, Magic Land, Abuja National Mosque, and many other places like Aso Rock. You can also go to Abuja and all those names I just mentioned, they were only from Abuja. Anyway, you can go to Bayelsa, Ibadan, or Port Harcourt and other places. Yes, you do have to pay to go on a flight, but you have a lot of fun going there. You get to stay up late on the plane, which I think is very cool. You also get to watch TV because of the TVs that are on the back of the chairs. You get free snacks and food on the plane. In conclusion, yes, there are other things you can do or other places you can go. You can see there are many places to go there, and I just listed a few. How about you ask your parents today?
Have you ever struggled with schoolwork? Then you can ask your teacher if you can get your cell phone. Some people think you need a cell phone for school, however, others think it's distracting. My opinion is a cell phone is helpful in school. My first reason is if you have an emergency, you can call your parents. Like, what if your pants rip or you get hurt really bad? My second reason is that if you have trouble with school, you can download educational apps and you can use a calculator. Finally, you know that you should have a cell phone in school because they can be educational and helpful. Do you think you should have a cell phone that can be distracting or helpful?
Scientists should study underwater cities. I believe living in an underwater society is an idea that scientists should continue to study for a few reasons. One reason is there will be a good supply of resources such as food and water. Another reason is because it can be a safe solution for people experiencing natural disasters. Although the technology we have today does not provide a permanent solution for breathing under large depths, there are still some options already available and technology is growing more advanced every day. I would love to live in an underwater city. Underwater cities could have a great supply of resources. One of these resources includes food, which could come from underwater fish farms, or could be transferred through a tunnel system from land. Another valuable resource is an unlimited natural power supply from the ocean currents. This would provide electricity for the underwater cities. With a natural power source, it could enable a system used for a freshwater supply. Having these important resources in an underwater city makes an underwater city more realistic possibility. Living in an underwater city can be a safe option for some people who are experiencing natural disasters where they currently live on land. Living underwater means you will not have to worry about rising sea levels and shrinking islands. You will not have to worry about tornadoes, hurricanes, or tsunamis living in an underwater society. Keeping people safe by living underwater could help preserve humanity and give people a safe place to live. Although current technology does not give us a long-term solution for breathing under large depths of water, there are some solutions already available today. The use of nitrogen and helium can help produce a short-term solution for oxygen. The use of plants and artificial light within the underwater city can also help provide the oxygen we need to breathe. As technology continues to advance, we can find different ways to help breathing underwater more possible. Building the underwater city in more shallow water is a good start. In conclusion, living in an underwater city would be possible and so much fun. Scientists should continue studying the possibility because there will be a good supply of resources of the things we need to live. Another great reason living underwater is ideal is because it can help preserve humanity by keeping us safe from natural disasters. Growing technology could lead us in the right direction to one day living in an underwater city. I would love to live in an underwater city.
I believe that scientists should continue to research ways to build underwater cities. Because we already have ideas on how to travel there, we could learn a lot, and food would be right there if you went fishing. Knowing all of this would help scientists to build underwater cities. Now I'll show you why building an underwater city is better than another space city. First of all, scientists already know how to get down under the waves, but when it comes to traveling up to space, they're thinking of making an elevator up to space, which I think sounds really dangerous. Scientists have studied both, but the ocean has been studied more often than space because it's easier to get to. Also, when they're building an elevator up to space, they have no gravity, which will make it hard to build. They're probably realizing that getting to space is really hard. Another reason that scientists should continue to research underwater cities is living underwater would be super educational. Kids could watch through the walls keeping them apart from the water and see animals in their natural habitat. In space, you do not have the option of watching animals because no animals can live in space. Also, you could observe what certain animals do when not trapped in a cage. You could do so much more in the ocean than you could in space, which is why I'd rather have another underwater city than another space city. Finally, in an underwater city, you'd be able to get food by fishing and water by using a filter. In space, you must bring special foods that are dehydrated so it won't go everywhere when you try to eat. Because there's no gravity, it must be dehydrated, which makes it not very fun to eat. Also, you could take baths in the ocean. In space, you cannot because of gravity, which means if you get dirty, you'd be unable to wash until you get back to Earth. In conclusion, I believe that scientists should build underwater cities instead of more space cities because you have the benefit of gravity, easy transportation, food, and water. Lots of this you would not get if you were in space. This is why scientists should build underwater cities instead of more space cities.
One day we were walking around the neighborhood and we came across a little park hidden behind some shrubs. Since there were 5 of us, we decided to go and see what happened and why it was abandoned. Good thing we're wearing pants, said Peyton. She said that because we could see spikes and thorns from where we were all standing in shock. Finally, we went to the rocks to lead us to where the swing set was. Are you guys sure this is a good idea? We brushed off what Nathan said and went where the swing set was. And as soon as we heard the ruffles in the leaves, we all stepped back. Amy said, "If that's a snake, I might just die." We all saw a little girl came out behind the tree. We all sat there for what felt like 24 hours. She finally said something. "Sorry if I scared you." "Scared us? I almost peed myself." We all asked what happened to the girl. She said, "I guess I'm homeless." "You guessed?" Nathan said. "I think you all knew she was homeless. I think she didn't want to admit it." We decided to go to Peyton's house and clean her up because her parents weren't home. The walk home was really awkward. 4:15 at Peyton's house. While we were in the bathroom getting a spa and a nice shower for the girl, we don't know her name yet, Nathan was getting a snack tray and Amy and Peyton were getting stuff ready in the room and a bag for her on the road. It's not like she was going to stay. Anyways, me and Amy set up a mini nail salon with nail polish. "What's your favorite color?" I asked. She said purple. We all got the purple nail polish Peyton had, and we painted her nails. After they dried, she went and took a shower. Nathan came in the room where Peyton and Chloe were getting the clothes. They were almost finished. Nathan set the tray on the bed. When she was finished in the shower, we all gave her her clothes and a bag for the road. While we were walking her home, we saw another girl. Of course, she was homeless. We could see her beat up clothes. The problem never stops.
Did you know robots can do some of your chores? Robots are inventions that can do jobs and tasks more faster and efficient than we can. After listening to this passage about robots, you will learn some incredible facts about these amazing inventions. These incredible inventions can be helpful in the workforce. The robot Tug is a helpful robot that is used by doctors and hospitals. This robot is used to send supplies like food and medicine to patients. Another robot that is used in the workforce is the GroundBot. This robot is shaped like a spear so it can roll around. This robot has sensors and cameras so that it can track any suspicious action. These robots are mostly found in airports. In the passage, robots aren't afraid of anything. There is also information about the android's F-64 robot. These robots are used in police departments and sometimes in the military. This robot is used for facing times when prisoners will be involved. One other robot is called the Robonaut. This robot was made in 2011. Astronauts use this robot to do tasks that will be too dangerous for a regular human to complete. One last general robot are the robots who work in the factories. These robots are all over the world, and they can do jobs that would be too repetitive or boring for us. Robots also can be used at homes for things like chores. One popular robot that does these type of tasks is the Roomba robot. This robot is a robot that vacuum cleans while the owner can sit down and control it from a smart device. Another robot that is used is called the RoboMow. This robot can cut/mow your lawn while you control it from an app. In the passage Incredible Robots, there is also a robot called the GrillBot. This robot is like a mini Roomba that cleans a hot or cold barbecue grill. There are also robot guard dogs. These robots walk around the house. They make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. They have cameras so that if anything is wrong, they will send a picture to your cell phone. To sum it up, these robots can do the same things we can do, but faster and efficiently. In this passage, information about how robots can vacuum and how they keep places safe like airports was given. If you could get a robot, which one would you get?
There was a boy named Tom. He decided to explore the woods, so he ran off into the woods with his friends. They took enough food and water for at least 2 days. Tom asked, "Are you ready?" They were ready, but not sure they would survive the 2 days in the woods. They were out in the woods, and it was a beautiful Friday. First, they all started to set up the tent. It took about an hour. Then they went out exploring. The boys found a bunch of beer bottles. Suddenly, Tom realized he forgot bug spray. Luckily, they found some bug spray at an old abandoned campsite. The tents were ripped and had holes that appeared to have been made with a knife. After they continued exploring the woods for another hour, until they came upon some pocket knives, each one engraved with their different name, their names. They did not want to take the knives, but then they saw a sign that said, "Take the knives." It was written in blood. They were all frightened, but they took the knives and Tom put them in his backpack. They were ready to go back to their tent for the night, but then the boys saw a house off in the distance. As they got closer to the old, rotten, beat-up house, a killer clown came out and started chasing them with a machete. The boys grabbed their pocket knives to defend themselves and tried their best, but still got a couple of cuts. They finally got away from the clown, but they knew they had to go back to the old house to find their way back to the tent. They were ready to run once they got back to the house when Mark said, "Guys, tomorrow, let's come back inside this house and let's go inside." Tim and Tom both responded quickly, "No." Once back at their tent, they found it had been taken down. They were already tired and hungry. It was after 9 p.m. before they got the tent set up and ate sandwiches for dinner that night. The next day, Tom made more sandwiches with chips. They were hanging out at the tent when Mark said, "Let's go back to the old house and go inside." Tim and Tom agreed to go after listening to Mark complain for nearly 20 minutes. Inside the house, there was a lot of garbage and bodies with machete marks. They found the clown looking around at once. At once, they all reached for their pocket knives, and upon seeing the clown's face, realized it had no eyes. It didn't see them, but it could hear them. The clown relied on its ears and ran toward any sound once it heard a noise. Then Tom whispered, "Don't make any noise, okay?" They all stood in fear that they would die in this old, rotten, beat-up house in the middle of the woods. Tim was the first to move, and he began to step back. He was staring intently at the clown and then slipped on blood, knocking over a table and a lamp. Suddenly, the clown came running after them. They ran for the exit, but right when they got there, the door closed on its own. Then they saw a window. Tom ran and jumped out the window through the glass and needed help back to the tent. As fast as they could, they packed the tent and ran out the woods. Once at their neighborhood, it seemed to take forever to find someone to help. No one was outside or playing in their yards. It was approaching dusk when the neighbor took them to the hospital, and the doctor told them to stay the night. The nurse called their parents. The next day, their parents came to get each of them and take them home.